Hello everyone, Books with Banks back again with another review. Today I will be returning to the wonderful world of Paravia for a short time with this novella, The Gallant, by Janny Wurts. This is a short novella, but a great one, set within her larger Wars of Light and Shadow series. A few notes to get out of the way really quickly. This will be a spoiler-free video, as I expect this novella might be an excellent entry point to the series for many readers. So I wanted to make sure that anyone interested was still able to watch this review without having to worry about me ruining anything for them. Also, if you haven't already, it would mean a lot if you could like this video, possibly share it with anyone you think might be interested in Janny Wurts' series and or the rest of my reviews and videos on my channel. Also, if you haven't already, it would mean a lot if you could subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year, at which point I'll do something like a live Q&A just to celebrate. But anyway, without any further ado, the review. Well, actually, first, before we get to the review proper, a bit of context. As many of you know, Janny Wurts' grand epic series, The Wars of Light and Shadow, is comprised of currently 10, soon-to-be 11, main series books. That 11th book is both the next and final volume of the series. These 11 books are all broken down into smaller sub-series or arcs, and I have currently only read Arc 1, comprised of just Book 1, Curse of the Mistwraith, and I've also read Arc 2, comprised of Books 2 and 3, Ships of Merior and Warhost of Vastmark, respectively. So I'm only 3 books really into the overall main series, so if any of you fans of this series out there are hoping that maybe I'll talk about some, maybe there's a random connection between this novella and Book 8 or 9 or something like that, fortunately I wouldn't be able to pick up on those things, so I won't be mentioning anything like that. Now, for anyone who either hasn't started the series or maybe anyone in a similar boat as me who is just at the beginning, where should you read this novella and any of the other short stories? Well, the easy answer is actually to pass this answer off on someone else, or sort of, as I have down in the description below, I've linked Janny Wurts' website, paravia.com. Again, that's Paravia.com. That's linked down below. There are wonderful resources there with detailed reading guides, interactive maps, and so on. Definitely go check out that website. Quoting the website, the novella The Gallant can be read at any time independent of the main series. I can confirm that it really doesn't spoil anything, at least 3 books in to the main series. In fact, in many ways, I'd say this novella introduces certain aspects of the series and of this world that Wurts has created. This novella might be, in many ways, a better introduction to some of those things than I found Book 1, Curse of the Mistwraith, to be. Don't get me wrong, both are great starting points, but what she chooses to focus on is a bit different in each. And this novella has the added benefit of being a much shorter work. Much shorter than Curse of the Mistwraith. So if you're wondering at all if her writing style might fit your tastes, it's definitely easier and a smaller commitment to just read this story as kind of your first sample, your first try. This story is also very self-contained, and I would have enjoyed it probably almost as much as I did, even if it wasn't tied to the rest of the main series. Now, being familiar with certain customs, political situations, settings, and all of that definitely helped in my enjoyment, but honestly, it didn't help much. And all that to say that the story really doesn't need that much help to be enjoyed. It is one of the most beautiful, heart-wrenching, enjoyable stories in its own right. So, more formally, the brief review I want to give here. The Gallant is a wonderful sample-sized taste of the type of heart-wrenching and intense stories Janny Wurts has already been weaving throughout her main Wars of Light and Shadow series. This novella, just stands a little bit apart from the timeline and characters of that main storyline. And this is an aspect, how kind of separate it is, this is an aspect I think helps this novella stand out and serve well as an entry point, but also something readers should be aware of just so you don't, come here hoping to see a ton of familiar faces. There are maybe one or two, but there's really not many at all. This story, at the end of the day, is a love story, a story of a romantic bond between two characters suddenly thrust into a panicked state of emergency, all because of political machinations beyond their immediate control. The titular Gallant character is a man named Varain. He is a well-respected and beloved noble in the kingdom of Shand. He is said to have a different girlfriend pretty frequently, but everyone he's with, while he's with them at least, he always treats them with a ton of respect and admiration. His most recent paramour is a member of the royal family, a woman named Lysiane, and she just happens to be his most recent love interest at the start of our story. And after the dramatic inciting incident, Lysiane and Varain are forced to undertake a journey, a quest of sorts, with Lysiane being the one of the two who keeps winding up more and more in the hero role. Then throughout their adventures, Janny Wurts is able to show off her politically complex world with townspeople on one hand and clanspeople on the other, their relationship and diplomatic tensions being a fascinating difference than what many of us fantasy readers might be used to. There's also description of the monstrous beasts of the world, descriptions of the ancient Paravian beings and the powers they left behind. You get brief mentions of things like the Coriathane Order of Enchantresses. You also get reference to the Seven Sorcerers. All of these wonderful inventions and kind of fantasy creations of Wurts's are featured more heavily and explored more thoroughly in the main series, but here, with this shorter story, Wurts is able to very carefully place little tidbits of lore on each of these facets of her world, just enough to hook new readers. Honestly, my only complaints are that, I guess first, maybe I wish the story were a little bit longer. I was just having such a good time with it, so that's not really a complaint. That's like a backwards compliment, sort of, right? There's also, there's one intense moment, confrontation, I guess, at the end of this book that happens pretty much off the page. And I will say I was hoping to be in a particular character's point of view during that moment, as opposed to finding out what happened after the fact. So it was kind of, it was sad to me that I didn't get to be with that character in a certain moment, in a certain intense moment there. But other than those minor nitpicks, this really was an all-in-all wonderful story. If you haven't read this story yet, whether you've read some of Wurts' other works or this would be your first try, I highly recommend this novella. It's available as an ebook on the website I mentioned above, paravia.com. Again, that is linked down below. And briefly before I go, since it's been a while since I made any Wars of Light and Shadow content, I should add that in the remaining months of 2023, I am still planning on reading at least 2 more of the main series books. These would be books 4 and 5, Fugitive Prince and Grand Conspiracy. When I get around to those, I will be sure to have dedicated reviews for each of them. Those 2 books are the first 2 in the largest kind of sub-series arc of the series, Arc 3, The Alliance of Light, and I really can't wait to get into this meatier, kind of fatter arc. I'm very, very excited. But yeah, all that said, thank you everyone so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.